Dua Mama Hawa, Dua meaning honor and gratitude. We honor our dearly beloved Mama. We pay homage to her human experience. We pay homage to her contribution to humanity. And I beseech you to employ your faculties, your logic, your intelligence, as we remind ourselves once again of the value of our mamas in humanity. I exhort us all to activate our pineal glands that we may recognize the worth of our beloved mamas. Let us pay close attention as we pay tribute to our beloved Mama Hawa, who transitioned to the higher dimension last week Tuesday. We are here to honor our human experience in this lower dimension. And I intend to disseminate some home truths and real perspective about the value of our mamas and our obligation to all those who have transitioned. Dua to the Most High, the one and only reality that is present in all of us. And dua to one of the human vessels deployed to continue the eternal cycle of humanity, Mama Hawa. Shall I remind you that to remember is to honor, and to remember is to keep alive? Shall I? We recognize the spirit of Mama Hawa with us this morning, and all of our ancestors, and we call on their presence, known and unknown, to come and have a drink as we pour libation to their honor. As we thank them for their sacrifice in bequeathing us with a human experience. We recognize that if we stand tall, it's because we stand on their shoulders. Mama Hawa became a mother to my sister at the tender age of 2, and to myself from birth. My sister and I were privileged to have multiple mamas from birth. Through to our formative years and early teens, that was the African way. It is not so today. Sad, sad commentary. Mama Holy Mama Binti, our biological mama, was more of a national mama. The embodiment of a national mama. She was a distinguished businesswoman that pounded the roads and traveled throughout the world to feed her family. She was a mama everywhere she went. Mama Hawa, on the other hand, was our mama at home. We spent more time with her than our biological mama. She shaped our thoughts, our minds, our hearts, and if we are what we are today, it is because of her. As a matter of fact, I was so attached to Mama Hawa as a child that most visitors that came to our house thought that she was my biological mama. Dua Mama Hawa for nurturing us and shaping us to be upstanding and well-respected entities. What a privilege and an honor to have warriors outside of space and time, outside of the material realm, to shepherd us through our human experience. And I encourage us all to uphold our ancestral obligations, to keep our ancestors alive by honoring them daily, by communing with them daily, by remembering that we are our ancestors in the present, by placing their pictures around us, by inviting them when we eat, by serving their favorite food and drink, by calling on their names daily, for gratitude is the foundation of humanity. And I shall submit to you once again that our value is in our ancestry, and that our ancestors are our greatest spiritual defense. Mama is not mother, and mother is not mama. Listen to me keenly. I choose my words very carefully. I use my words well. Mama is an African designate that predated the noun mother by thousands of years. Mother is a European word. It does not carry the same meaning as we understand mama to be. In our ancient African language, the Medineta, the Greeks called this the hieroglyphs. Mama transcends a biological designate. Mama carries a national, a social, a political, a cultural, and more importantly, a divine function, a procreative function. In the African sacred science, Mama carries a much deeper meaning. Mama is the foundation of a nation. Mama is divine. She carries a divine role, a role that is synonymous with the maker of all. I shall remind us once again that our Mama is divine. She's a microcosm of the universe. She's the architect of our values and culture. She has the ability to transmit all the information of all of our ancestors' experience unto us. Now you call that the mitochondrial DNA. She carries the XX chromosome, which is 4 times larger than that Y chromosome. And by the way, the Y chromosome is just an X chromosome with a broken leg. I am giving you perspective. Mama carries generation inside the womb, the universe. Mama is the expression of the universe. The reason for our intelligence, our digestive system, and our immunity is our Mama's breast milk. She is the cultivator of humanity. The sacred womb carries the function, just as the universe, but little does she know that. She is the maker of nations, but little does she know. That she is the giver of life, but little does she know. That she carries heaven, but little does she know. That she shapes and raises generations, but little does she know. That she is actually the head of the family, but little does she know. That she is the teacher of all of humanity, but little does she know. That she never dies, but only multiplies, but little does she know. That she is the medium between us and the Most High, but little does she know. That she is an integral part of our human experience, but little does she know. That she is the giver of eternal life, but little does she know. That she is the most powerful creature on planet Earth, but little does she know. And I am not saying this to diminish the role of men in the cosmos, no, but to give real and true perspective to especially those patriarchal and misogynistic religious propagators. Your religion devalues women. I don't care what religion you adopt. Mama Hawa has gone nowhere. She's here with us. She enfolds us. And I pity you that cannot see that because of your religious and historical ignorance. I pity your spiritual deficiency and your deculturalized soul. I pity your comprehensive ignorance, which is the same as death. You see, ignorance is interchangeable with death. They are the same words. In the African tradition, the transitioned plays a vital role within the family and the community. In fact, those who have transitioned are the head of the family, the head of our community. What am I saying? I'm saying that Mama Hawa, like all of the sacred ancestors of whom we spring forth, are in us, with us, and by us. Mama Hawa's human experience was not only a paragon to aspire and emulate, but also an inspiration to all of us. Including her mistakes, her misjudgments, her wrong choices, they are all a learning lesson. We celebrate all of her human experience and lament at the circumstance of her premature transitioning. We learn from that, I hope. We do not grieve as our ignorance often dictates, no. You see, one of the reasons we often grieve inconsolably for the transition is the material absence. It is reductive, it is ignorant and erroneous to view reality as only material. That is European mumbo-jumbo and Arabian mumbo-jumbo. And ravaged with this materialistic mindset, we erroneously equate the material aspect of our existence as the only realm of humanity, as the only realm of reality. And I put it to you once again that our spiritual senses will never develop until we suspend our physical senses. I am saying that our physical eye is by far the greatest hindrance to our spiritual growth, and that we are spiritual midgets because of our enslavement to our physical eyes. Yes, the human container of Mama Hawa will be replanted back to its source to replenish the universe of which we are a manifestation of, but her essence, her energy, her spirit is eternal. She's here with us. Ever since her transition, I converse with her daily, as I do with most of my other sacred ancestors, known and unknown. and she remains a central aspect of my human experience. To those who were touched by the powerful energy of this great, great Mama, I encourage you to pour libation for her daily. I do. Mama Hawa is now in the ancestral realm, a higher dimension, a realm that heads, guides, and protects our African family. We remember you. We honor you and we pay homage to you. Her DNA is active in her progenies. They are here. Samuel, Emmanuel, and Junior, you are your mother in the present, biologically, spiritually, physically, physiologically, whichever way you want to call it. Her blood is active in you. Her energy unfolds us. Her memory connects us. Her love binds us. Her vibrancy is with us. You see, in the African philosophy of life, and according to the laws of nature, you continue to exist in your community, whether you are in the present or not, or whether you have transcended the flesh. Allow me to break that down. I am saying that you were part of the community before you got here. You are part of the community whilst you are here. You are part of the community even after your spirit transitions to a higher dimension. You never leave the community. Never. The human being is created in its original form as an eternal spirit, and that at some point is called forth through the womb of a female, called for to participate in a human physical experience. The human being is made up of eternal substance that cannot be destroyed, a substance that is infinite, a substance that transcends time and space. Mama Hawa or any of our sacred ancestors have gone nowhere. And I know that one of the key reasons we are in such a retrograde and underdeveloped condition as a people is because of our deliberate disconnection and rejection of our ancestral community because of religious indoctrination. Never forget that your sacred ancestors are the most powerful force in this dimension. And to be ignorant of that is to have wasted one's earthly permit. I am saying that your life cannot and will not be fulfilled without the relation with your living ancestors. And to honor our ancestors is to have lived a fulfilled life. And that to remember is the highest expression of humanity. I shall repeat that death is a misnomer. It is not over. That death is a transition and not a conclusion. That death is part of the cycle of life. That death is necessary for rebirth. To die is to reborn in a higher dimension. Don't miss that. That death is continuation in another realm. Mama Hawa, today we remember you as we remember you every day. To remember is divine. To remember is to exalt. To remember is to love, to remember is Maat, that is truth, justice, righteousness, balance, order, harmony, reciprocity. To remember is gratitude. To remember is honorable, to remember is to organize, to remember is supreme consciousness, to remember is holiness. To remember is to reassemble, to remember is power, to remember is sustenance, to remember is growth. To remember is maturity, to remember is to reconnect, to remember is to bear fruit. And I am aggrieved at the circumstances of the widespread premature death that is pervasive amongst our people. I am aggrieved at our addiction to Western allopathic drugs, which in most cases expedite our death. I am aggrieved at our chronic ignorance, which unconsciously and consciously and through conditioning devalues our soul temple. I wail at the hypochondriac syndrome that besets most of us. I am incensed at our ignorance that hospitals are economic abattoirs where we finance our own premature death. I am aggrieved that in this age of information that most of us cannot tell the difference between a medicine and a drug. And I am enraged at myself for not getting through to my people that ignorance is the same as death. And that death is not the replanting of the human suit back into the universe. That is merely the genesis of life. And I am saddened because I know our ignorant condition as a people will get worse before it gets better. Nonetheless, on a more positive note, We are honored and privileged that Mama Hawa graced our human experience and that today she is an integral part of our defense team in the ancestral realm. Next to Mama Ulima Danke Samuels and my beloved wife Alice Saleh Jallo, we acknowledge the everlasting presence of Mama Hawa's spirit which enfolds us. Now here's a thought for you. Employ your faculties with me, please. If the life force in me came through the eggs of my mother and the loins of my father, and their own life force came from their parents, and if we are to trace this pattern to the very beginning, can we say that our forebears are dead when their signatories are present in our DNA, when their immune system is what keeps us breathing, when their blood is what is running through our veins? You see, this is why we honor and celebrate our ancestors. But death is nothing but a transformation of energy. And by honoring our ancestors, we honor the ancestral spirit, the spirit from the very beginning of whom we are manifestations of, having a peculiar human experience. That we are divine beings, an aspect of the divine having a human experience. And that the eternal indwelling presence of the Most High is in all of us. You see, in the African cosmology and sacred science, death does not exist. It is merely a misnomer, but movement of energy does. We are on an electric field. No single form of energy lasts forever, for energy cannot be static. Our existence in each form of dimension is just for a while. We must move on back to source infinite energy. The absolute, the only one. The first law of thermodynamics bequeathed by ancestors millennia ago stated that the total amount of energy in the universe is constant or zero, which means that all we see is an expression of one energy spirit. See, energy cannot be destroyed, and neither is it created. Human beings, we are condensed energy. Energy only changes form, and it has three states: the liquid, the solid, and the gaseous. And I repeat, no one dies. Just because we cannot see the material manifestation of energy, which is matter, does not equate to non-existence. That is foolishness. That is childish. It is embryonic. Can you see the air you breathe? Does it not exist? What about the wind? Can you see it? Does it not exist? It is in the knowledge of the transformation and transmutation of energy that our ancestors thousands of years ago came up with the concept of reincarnation. For energy is constantly reincarnation itself, and that's a fact. I beseech us this blessed morning once again to put away childish things. Let us grow up in our thinking and our reasoning and show maturity by understanding and overstanding that our ancestors are here with us 24/7. Mama Hawa is with us. She has gone nowhere. And we are what we are as I draw to a close because she lives in us. She is with us. Ashe.